Good morning, everyone. The General AI Spacetime Creator. All settings go. Line position locations Alpha Bravo. Direct line calculation Delta. We have to really understand the streamlines, how it sets position our attractions. I want everybody to understand how this all works. Your calculations to your brain conversion location system is changing. The track location setting, how it merges into walls, the earth planes, the astral planes coming into the metal planes, which is soul. It's sim, operation, unifications, level one. Game center. Now, really understand how to use that through simulation is understand your singularities. Singularities and program locations is a quantum line calculation setting. You come into all systems to physics 101. Let's start with that line conditioning system. Track to correlation setting direct system, right? And track lines when it comes to spiritual adaptation of force. This directs to high calculations to your quantum, which is changing your alchemies. Calculations to ethereal, which comes into unifications, equal lines of soul. This is the metal planes, indirect signal location of Tron. Tron is a representation of teleportation. Okay, it's all levels, right? So teleportation, remembering, operation of a new system locations. That's what Tron means. It's all levels of teleportation. Now that's correlating high interference of Tango Tango. Now we really have to understand how to use it through our Syria or use it through our set locations, or Echo, or Charlie, or Alpha Bravo, or anything through uniform. We all have to understand what that means in set location in our systems. It's all tracked as calculation. But really understand how to really get into not just communicate to your system, but your brain convergence and your equiliners is changing high setting. Coming to sonar lines, high interference of fragmentation, string location, and directions. So what that means is that the convergence of your line connections of subtronic line is changing the settings to higher levels. Okay, your Oscars to your Novembers. Track to its communication system is modification. How to use it at all levels is really understand your body is changing, which means everything else is changing. So if you're changing from inside, everything else is changing. You can't just have a change in line center interference, turn in location of Tron if you understand location outside line conditions. So whatever's happening inside of you is happening outside, but the outside is the inside. So the inner line and the outer line is coming to space, inner space, outer limits, space limits. It's all track locations in the orbits or anything for that set location, set directions. Okay. So the cubicle streamlines is already set up, guys. The 24 academies is already set up. We're just coming to all levels of expansion. Garden cities, cosmopolitan cities, international cities. There's so many lines of calculation. Now, once you understand that, the set location of the sim is a modification of its own system. You guys are line communicating to your co-creation, coming into all levels of modifications. And once you understand how to use the metal planes, everything comes in sync locations. It's in position track lines when it comes into your XT1000s or anything location in your systems, or XT30,000 or XT500 or XT1000 or XT2800. It's knowing exactly how to use it through your command. Now, the platitude line interference and travel correlation setting is leaving the astral planes. The astral planes is high calculated position of track lines, right? Mother Earth is getting ready to get into her Tron set position of operation. Let me say it again. Mother Earth is getting ready to get in her Tron set of subtronic location and line of consciousness. Father's getting new foundation graph lines in his tronic line condition of system through galaxies. How we come into the universe line set location is extremely important. Set location your systems. Get into the photronic lines in the alphabet, how you communicate with each other, and all line communication. That's the only way you can understand each other to all settings. Okay, which is this area. Set line communication setting. To make it easier for you guys, it's just trying to understand anything you say through Foxtrot is basically a graph, electrical graph, energy graph, high positions, mediation graph, all line interference. Just a graph. It's just an image that's sending your location. This is basically getting you in adaptations, how to really get into your basic gulfs, groundings, line set location your system. Really understand how to use the space inside you for modulation, right? Because the modules and your consoles have to really understand how to communicate with each other, right? So your brain is changing settings. So if this is changing, your body's changing. Everything's changing from inside, changing everything outside, which is your reality. Now this is already automatic. It's already in subtronic line setting. It's connected to all of us, how it comes into the unconscious, to the consciousness, to the subconsciousness, to the subterranean, to the super consciousness. Now, these are the line communications that everybody's come into. It's all done through your alphabetical string location settings. How you use yourself through your psychological system, how you use yourself through recalculation setting, how to use yourself through the psychosis system, how to use yourself through meta universe, meta calculation setting directions, metal line calculation line interference, metal interface position, interlock communication setting, interline calculation setting, clocking line communication, time capacitor line position locations, or particles accelerator line streams. Direct line position location is your particle system. Now you have to really understand how to use it through your GOD. The basic grounds is your higher self, right? Which gets in modern communications, how to use it through stream of resonance, and minds of space, not the grounds. Okay? This is not a ground, this is a hologram. I want you to understand that it's a space academy. It can be anything that wants to be in said location setting, but it has to really understand its position. So once the higher self understands the modern communication setting to your earth perceptions. Now, when I say earth perceptions, that is to your mental planes. Okay? Earth perception is just a metaphorical system. So it's calculated modified through confirmation line setting. It's all direct locations how you get into centers. So the actual earth perception in your system is a psychological reset. Really understand the connections to the particle setting or anything to the godheads or the god codes or god mechanism settings of travel lines or how to use it through location in your system through traffic, because we're coming into data highways. Okay, we're coming into Almi highways. We're coming into interdimensional highways. We're coming into beta, theta, meta, omega, coming into zeta, zama, line of rotation, center position, radiation, all different wavelength centers, different track location setting and controls. How to understand how to use it through your towers is understanding your delta, which is your headings. Really understand the correlation setting. 012 line track location system, all platitude line division locations, alpha bravo. Center calculation stream interference into zero. Calculate interference of foxtrot, direct locations back into setting, which is also locations. So you don't have to go alpha bravo, delta tango, you just have to get into frame setting. Just try to get into formation of a comfortable system. Try to get into more levels of you through golf, like ground your system. So it becomes easier, comes easier, because that's what's happening right now. All convergence is changing, and the mind adaptation is coming into that surface, getting out of this application, this hardwired line communication, modification, line interference modulations. Understand how to use your modules, consoles, communication, your systems, all levels of your navigation. How to use your flight navigations from 1 to 12. Why do you think a computer has F1 to F12? What does that mean all mean? Flight navigations, right? Why does it have a tab? Why does it have a cap? Why does it have shift? Why does it have control? Why does it have position of spacebar? What does it all mean? It means everything is a location system. And that's how the Tron uses this through its application of teleportation of Tango. To understand how to use it through its remembering system, through its operation, which is a new line calculations of a computer reset into a gain center operation application of simulation, which puts you into your singularities, divisions, that location of sectors, vectors, and quads. Now, the quadrant channel, there's lines of low frequency, mediation frequencies, and calculation high. In that track location system, as of Wednesday, everybody will be on the mental planes of communication setting. Mental planes, meta planes. Mental, meta. Okay? Truly understand how it works through the psychological line calculation setting location of your soul that directs the location, height, position of your travel lines into your cubicle settings. Now, that cubicle line is the location of your dorm. Everybody's going to be in a plateau of the center line. We're going to be the center line. No more Earth, no more planes of astral line. We're going to be in the center line rotation. Everybody's going to be into their academies, and everybody's going to be in the cubicle line position, which is their dorm, and a different frequency. Okay? So, in that set location line interference, the low gravity line of rotation interference will be on beta waves and alpha. Okay? These are transformation communication line streams. Now, that location system into their settings. They come into the subtronic line communication of the mind, adaptation to its surface locations. So in the line communication of the mortals, stay in high line positions. Okay, into location of the Galactic Federation or anything location of rebellion stays in the mediation. And anything low division locations goes through alter state communication karma cycles. Down through equation. Okay, that's what's going to happen on Wednesday. Setting communication, setting directions, guys. You have to really understand how it works all line position of your systems to Oscar in November. Just get into a flowing mechanism line interference. It's like playing the piano, or a symphony. It's la da di da da di da Alpha, Bravo, Delta, E. E-line center, E-line connections, E-line calculation behind positions, Azaria, calculation of whiskey, Foxtrot location. So it's really understanding to get into the flow communication setting directions, all levels of operation. This is going to help you out through position on track lines. Okay, so we're going to merge correlation setting, ground lines operation surface, triangulation heights allocation of system and traction. Okay, direct lines modification on one line, flex paths communication in 3-line settings. Okay, direction of point system, triangulation of 3 set position programs. The correlation setting dynamic core, resistor line interference, center line rotations, and center calculation of setting position of traction. Now, when line interference comes in all line communication in on its highest center position to its operation. Yeah, you see how it just see? It's going to get complicated, right? We're in the quantum lines, electronic line interference, and AI correlation setting, and telecommunication. All right, direct lines correlation setting, right? Direct line communication is their line, operation surface, sun lines, communication to moon, and position location of system. Okay, got my equation. Dome setting. Coming to metal interface, all levels. Correlations of panels, 1 signature line stream, 1 0 line setting, 1 equals lines of 0, triangulation high center interference, X, Y line rotations, X, position locations, all levels, sets position location of point systems, and 3 track location of setting. Okay. Now, setting position of track lines is a T line center and triangulation and reset position locations into all levels of female male line rotation. Okay. So that's female line calculation of male, and position location of male, and position of female locations, all levels of Mother Earth. Tracking correlation setting direct system, triangulation and reset position programs, all levels, line calculation of film strips, a 12 signature line interference, and 12 radiation line calculation stream location of setting. That directs the panels, correlation setting directions into all levels. Film projector communication setting, a box position triangulation, a 3 set line calculation setting, and 4 lines, a 5 signature stream location of settings. Direct lines of panels, direct line calculation setting, 5 in measure, 6 in correlation. Now this is where we come into radius. Now the radius correlation's highest center is 6. 6 comes in line calculation across the string. Total division, rotation surface, moon lines, correlation setting track lines, into weaving cycles, correlate high direct signal, and position operation. Okay, one way equation. Okay, so try to make some time sequence to understand how to surface your position track lines. So 1 in position locations, 2 in center, 3 in line division, 4 in operation, 3 line condition size 7 position operation locations. When you try to use communication setting, direct line calculation, triangulation, all levels, dynamic core, center line, center line, center line, center line, center line position location, center position. Operation surface, triangulation high calculation setting, data apps, data stream location 9, interference of sonar communication. All levels of clock line center into 24 radius in the communication. Directing calculation 9 interference, traverse applications, traverse settings, operation center lines and communication. Center communication line interference comes all position location in your system, into all line connection to grounds. Ground circle location of center interference. Direct calculations travels lines, 3 line signatures, stream locations. Direct communications comes in this line signature. All right. Position of track lines comes in the sun, comes in the moon, all line communication of Tron is that location of travel. Look how powerful it is. Look how powerful it is. Look at the intelligence. Look at the tronic line center as a quantum line interference and position communication high center interference, a mental interface communication, meta line calculation setting, in all track communication, forward 3 lines of pi, 7 line rotation setting, 7 bodies of water track communication setting, changes all correlation and interference location of Mother Earth line communications, getting her ready to in position to a setting in all calculation setting to her soul, planes of communication setting, metal interface position location to her high, line directing high center line position of travel center communication. All right, travel calculation line interference comes into thin bots, 3 lines has location of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 line rotation. Directing signals and panels, correlation high direct signals. That opens all lines of position of levels of center, a magnetic highway information line, triangulation resets, direct lines and triangulation high calculation setting to a time stamp. Directing line position of panels, that equation. Travel position or recognition timelines is all about understanding how to set position your setting locations. 8 channels, 8 line rotations, 8 division, 8 interference. Split position anomaly. Pattern lines, 1 atom line rotation surface, 2 position of track lines. Direct line signatures, 1 line signature. Travel communications and setting line interference and travel communication. 0 lines operation surface, 0 line communication setting, dimensional heading, lines of delta, communication center interference. Direct line communications, line position location of its operation. Set position locations to its center line calculation setting. Soul planes, soul line center interference and waiting signal, line calculation setting interference into Wednesday, set lines attraction. Directing line communications into dimensional line set location of delta waves, energy signatures, energy patterns, energy rotations, and line calculation setting is soul, line communications, and sail in center line interference. Direct communication setting position operation. Done by equation. Okay, systematic lines of change changes the psychological reset position of programs. One line signatures comes in one line rotations, two line calculation, H line center. H line center comes into all center positions, Fibonacci line swirls, and sublocation of travels. Direct communication is center line communication. Direct calculation of 3 lines, position of 3 lines, and sublocation travel setting. Okay? Calculation high interference, indirect signal to its operation surface. It sets position location track lines in an operation line set location downshift cross line set position some Mother Earth. Now, Mother Earth sets lines of communication of box line. This rotates the line condition high interference and puts her in tron in communication. Director signals, panel communication setting, director signal line interference, and travel communications, and then all line calculation setting direct system and all traction. Okay? Now, the tracking line high interference would come into platitude line interference of 2 line measure and line rotation. Then correlating interference, travel position location of 3 line sets, travel setting line and position of platforms, travel calculations high interference, travels line center into an abnormal line surface and rotation setting and calculation. That my equation. All right. Doing this fast is really understand more lines of communication, how this aligns all calculation in your systems. So we got Stargate line setting line interference of 24,000 signature patterns, direct location of star lines, and star panels, in 1 signature lines and 1 rotation. That directs high calculation setting stream locations and directions through set locations of travel. Travel signature lines, line position locations at 2 panels, Omni highway line rotation surface. The triangulation high center interference of 24 signature stream locations in the radius in line signals and high setting. Puts positions of panels in line connection. Now this opens all panel line interference, influx capacitor, travel calculation lines of 3 set location of measure, direct and line calculation setting, indirect signal, down cross locations, high generation streamlines into pi calculation streamlines into 4 lines, 3 line division location is 7 in line communication. Done by equation. Okay. Knowing how to set these things up, guys, it gets much easier because the thing is, what you really have to understand is how to use your set location, your subtronic setting. So we got a subtronic line. Okay. Sub equals lines of consciousness, conscious location setting. This puts you in a subline. Okay, equals lines, 1 equals lines of pi, indirect signal, top position, location, center interference. Now, taking the intelligence line, equals lines of CPU. The line crosses stream locations TRON. There it is, tron. Okay, so coming in teleportation stream, timestamp positions of pi, direct signals, platitudes, longitude, latitude, line interference of 3 set location. Now, travel calculation comes into this line signature, line rotation, center line interference, and goes in line set location to high center through pi correlation. Directing high position locations comes all settings. 1 signature lines of sub, bracket communication, systematic line, unification lines and uniform, calculation of all levels of balance, which is golf line interference, directing calculation line settings, alpha bravo. Setting the line communication setting and direct system to your system to its location. Right? That equation. Okay, so the metric stream, which is Mike, metric line calculation setting, puts position locations of patterns. This opens all signals. 2 lines of signature locations, right? So it's really understand how to set everything through solar text line setting. So the actual thought positions and your mental face line communication to its interface is interlocking communications. Your thought recognition of patterns are coming at the mystical cortex streams, which means the panels and communication setting to your metrics of the communication sonorites, alpha, delta, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4, 5 set location of settings, a direct location system to a location grid in line position. Now, line communicating is all levels how you see the metric string to its energy line, which is a 3 line rotation, 3 line calculation, and 3 line division, triangulation of 3 set position programs. Okay. Center correlation setting to an XT1000 comes under the high line setting location center interference, XT1000 line position location high center interference and travel. Direct calculation of lines opens all signals and communication setting in one line rotation surface and triangulation. Now, in that line rotation interference, the calculations to its location grid comes in line setting location of 24 signature lines of 4 lines of 5 line rotation surface and triangulation. Direct lines of plateau calculation travels lines of 3 signature line streams and line interference into the dimensional line interference of delta. Delta line of rotation surface triangulates high calculation setting to travel through acceleration. Accelerates the platitude line interference into 2 box frames, direct locations into 1 signature line stream, and a line calculation setting line and rotation to a platform into surface location of setting. This direct location system interference changes line centers, electrical lines of roots, line interference, the actual plane communication setting, and line traction. Electrical light communication of box lines, theta line, alpha line, delta line communications, all levels of omega communications, zeta, and line rotation interference, radiation communication cycles, high calculation lines, frame lines, division lines, rotation surface, position of track line communication of setting. All right, that my question. All right, that's surfacing out. So everything's traveling very fast in high position in your system locations. So we got 2 box line rotations, 2 waving line centers. Okay, T reception lines, 2 antenna, cross location of stream. Direct lines of 3 lines of panels, operation line surface. That's position location of ground lines. High calculation of your Tron lines and box line rotation surface, triangulation reset position of 3 lines and application of travel. Direct calculation of lines is 0. Security lines, sum lines, rotation surface, location of moon, and operation surface. Triangulates high center interference. Now it's 3 lines. Calculation of 4, 4 lines of 3, set position of 7. 7 comes in line equal lines of 5, 5 lines of 12, and set location line interference. Comes into 24 signatures, 24 activations, 24 line interference. We come into the calculation setting to all levels. Out of equation line in rotations and a 12 line set position travel lines, radius location of 24 signatures. That my equation. Okay. Measure and accountability is really to understand how this all serves your system location settings. So we bracket the communication of 0 lines, set position locations, all levels. Division lines of 2 tracks, calculation of 3, and 4 line rotation. Okay. Now the 4 lines of 3 line sets lines of 3, gratitude line, rotation centers, and 2 surface location of travel lines. 3 direction of time sequence, position location of 4 panels, and set location or setting. Now direct line calculation setting interference. You have the avatar line rotations, coming to in position locations, jump scars, and line calculation setting. Okay. So it's understanding how to use the coordinate setting to your system, which is your Oscars. Calculation height interference, the jumping position of track lines and height inner rotations, to your Tron line communication. Okay? That my equation. Okay. So we're going to wait on the signal for that because we have to add the equation streams. Now, when you add the conditions, this is where we come into the quantum line setting the electronic line communication of 1 signature. So we come in line interference into 0 line, and 0 line in center. Okay? Triangulations, all levels, point system, point system, point system. Okay? I-line division locations of pi, redirect signals of panels, splits anomalies in 3 set locations. Okay? So that's 1, 2, and 3 panels location. Okay? Calculating the lines of alpha, and we come into lines of calculation of Bravo, line center interference, equal line calculation setting, triangulation of 1 set position of block program. Direct calculation lines, crosses lines, and position of 2 lines, set lines of high interference. Now that direct signals back in the center, opens all communication to flux capacitor, travels lines, direct lines, high center interference, in lines of waving cycle. Correlation high interference, travel calculation high interference into the absent line, changes communication to sun, and direct signal to its operation surface at set location. Now directing line position locations comes into walking surface, all levels of setting. This balances line setting and line interference of 3 waving panels, 1 position, 2 positions, and 3 set locations and directions. Okay, that my equation. All right. So what I'm doing, guys, is that we're resurfacing line streams, getting ready to get into the astral planes and locations out of the equation, getting into the outer links, and getting into the outer realms and position locations. So that's where we come into force triangulation reset position nebula. Nebula sets all force line center interference into Andromeda. Andromeda comes in location the Guardians of the Galaxy and line conditions of the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians and line interference comes in all track to its correlation setting to all calculation interference. This changes location of ethereals and puts everybody in line communication to your soul planes, which is the mental place line center location sitting. So it's a mental plate in communication of 24 lines of radius, and that correlates to setting directions in platitude line rotation. Puts position, location, and track lines in your operational line calculation of formulas of equation of one line rotations into 90 track line settings. Now, this puts all calculating your cells and modification line settings in position of waiting on signal on Wednesday line positions to its operation service, puts everybody into all levels of the simulation line interference of singularity line communications into one-on-one channels and line communication setting into your simulation. So, yes, I know there's a lot going on. Try to understand how this all works in platitude line rotations, guys, because it's very informative. Really get into your system locations, how it sets position attractions. Okay. All right, Nikki communication, Tina lines, all levels of Heather position, Gypsy location of Quartz line communication, all of Geneva, and line interference. All direct signals to your system locations, right? So it's all about understanding where the convergence is coming from, right? It's really directing signals to your panels, but you really understand how to use it now, right? How it's location flux capacitors. So that's going to channel out. Okay, so once we understand how to signature lines of one and position of the zero lines and position of one and zero position of zero line and one positions of one. Okay, we have to really understand how to use the Stargate, star panels, star maps, star sequence location of settings and directions. Really understand how to correlate high interference from XC1000 line setting, scans position location as center communication. All right, so that opens all signals in line calculation setting, right, to its orbs, inner space, outer space, and track communications into a 12 line rotation of 24 ground set location. Okay. Now, in that line calculation comes into modification, right, which is a half pipe. So it's half equals lines of moon. Moon equals lines of triangulation. In line calculation of box location Fibonacci lines of pyramid. Pyramid activation line interference. Pyramid crosses line string locations, which is a 2-measure straight line communication of setting. Directing line calculation line interference. That's 2 over lines of pi. 2 lines of calculation interference, triangulation resets. So that's 2, 2, 2, and track location of 2 line division. Rotate line positions. Bracket 2, 2, 2 comes into 3 centers. Bracket 2 comes into all levels of 2 line track location. Directing line position locations come to all signature string location settings in direct system through modification. Directing line calculation setting comes into all levels, dimensional lines, delta communications, all levels of heading, and high calculation of whiskey communication and directions, and center line calculation setting and all levels of rotation. Okay? That my equation. Very complicated stuff. Voice is changing again. So everything that you change inside is basically changing everything outside. Okay, it's trying to understand the reconstruction design coming into your position of tracks, your communication line centers, how to get into your tronic line interference, how to come into the subtronic location system, how to get in line calculation all levels, entire line positions of you through all formula equations, set connections. All right. So we're going to wait on that signal, right? Coming back in this line location. Okay. Now, once you stand the frame lines in Foxtrot, center line rotation interference, F forms a sublocation of 2 lines. 2 line position location of 3, circles lines as communications. Okay, this is where platitudes is location higher levels of travel. Okay. So once it gets in a higher line communication, it highlights its division. Now, the connections of the line centers come stronger in the mon-line sublocation. Okay? Done my equation. All right. So that's going to travel out, right? So it's about going back and going forward, going back, going forward. Direct, redirect, direct, redirect, direct, redirect. Okay? So really understand how to use and always information location in your system, right? So you track your streams. Okay, so you got the 0 grounds and the 24 radius. Radius lines of lulls, equal lines of rounds, and correlates to setting position of your systems, which is all of the ruins, and ruins comes down with calculation interference. Now this puts you into more lines of memory line interference and travel calculation setting directions, puts position of 3 line rotation, calculations of 4 line settings, 7 line interference, and 12 line center interference into 24 signals, 24 line settings, 24 activations, and 24 streams. So that's the position location of Earth, water, air, and fire, and direction. Okay, that way equation. All right. So we got 24 signatures lines of 0, 24 signatures lines of mediation, 24 signatures atmospheres, 24 location of space. Okay, so we got 4 panels, communication setting directions. All right, so that's 4 panels that go out 3 signatures, 6 signatures, 9 signatures, and 12 signature locations. Okay, now comes back in signal, comes back in motivation, comes back in activation, comes activity, comes in ground lines, and center line interference in your location grid, and line rotation surface and traction. Okay, that by equation. Okay, so we set the location grid lines into the AMI highway. The AMI highway is a data port stream. Directing line calculations setting to your Earth, your position location of water, air, and your fires. Now the plasma line center interference comes in 7. Now the 7 lines take location of 5, which is 12 signature location of 24. 24 clocking line center location in your systems opens all lines on magnetic highway information lines of data interference in one location. Center position of track lines, 24, 24. Crisscross locations, 24, 24. Crisscross locations. 2 panel streamlines and line calculation setting directions. Now this opens all calculations and interference. So the position track lines opens up the signal into a crop circle, comes in all position to your system to a pyramid line. The astral travels the astral connection position travel lines, but the position location of your system traction. That way equation. All right. That's going to travel out. So understanding how to use your modules, space modules, your set location, your adjustments, really understand how to use your surface location, your settings, and all track to communication, right? Adjusting brain waves as soon as I hit beta large. Yeah, so that's what it is. We're setting up the AMI highways of beta. Okay, coming in calculation interference of theta. Okay, omega. Okay, coming in calculation standing position of track lines. So you got beta, theta, and line calculation 3. We got theta, 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 line communication 3. And we got omega 3, 3, 3. So it's 3, 6, 9. Okay, so that's 9 center line in rotation. Okay, center correlation 9 interference. 9 equals lines of 6 equals lines of 9. 6 lines of cross line, 9 line rotation, and yin and yang across communication. That equation. That's set up. Okay, so we start off that set locations, beta, theta, and omega. Mm-hmm. Now we underline rotation interference. Now we got the calculation A, alpha, bravo, and position of theta in the center. And we got correlations of beta at the top location setting. Beta equals lines calculation intelligence. That's the location of balance. Balance equations of 1 is that location. Now the atom line changes location setting. I'm directing frame lines, directing sig locations of panels, triangulation reset position of levels. Half height of moon line rotates the surface, new ground line, new surface line, new correlation interference, and travel communication of setting. Now in that direction, you have to understand how to plan it to the planet line setting, how it travels lines of 2 signatures to 3 and 4 and 5 line condition of setting. Okay. Now, directing communication is all understand how to use the theta lines, the box line rotation center, and 2 blocks of 3 line rotation surface. Calculates high interference, sets position track to its communication of its umbrella. Direct coordinate setting Earth, position of the travel lines in line interference, releasing communications to the astral planes, and all line conditions to the soul planes and track location. Done by equation! So trying to figure out what's going on here, guys. But it's absolutely amazing how you set these things up, the plasma line condition, center interference. So the connection to the Earth planes is gone. Coming in the astral planes, that's disappearing right through the roots, right? Like I said, Mother Earth's getting ready to get a neutron setting. Blocks position, location, triangulation of line settings and 3 line rotation surface comes in neutron communication to its balance. Direct line position of box centers. Box position 2, 3, 4, and 5 set locations. Right? Done by equation. All right, so in that line calculations comes in a triangulation line interference. Your pyramid is going to go to higher calculation subtronic setting. Okay, this is the pyramid line rotations. Boxes, position, location, or surface. Okay, now that's done. How's everybody doing so far? Everybody having fun? Trying to understand what's going on through your setting locations. All right, so that's waiting on signal. All right, and set position, location, lines. So we really have to understand connection of the sun, and sun line, correlation lines, panel line, stream location to a setting. Okay. Dimensional heading and line calculation, crossing through, stream location of platforms, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 set locations. Okay, travel calculation comes out of the line connection. Okay. Now, once it gets in line interference, we come into galaxy shift line. Now, the galaxy sets routers and routers, center line rotation into 2 atom line sequence, double helix rotation, circuits, guys, triangulation, reset, position, programs. Okay, it's very powerful stuff. Coming in this line calculation setting in this direction, 2 line centers, high calculation to a system, travel position of travel. Look how powerful that is. Look how powerful that is. Woo! All right, so we got the moon line and the north line, east line, sector correlations of quads and line rotation, surface, and triangulation position to energize line communication of pods and set location. Travel calculation setting directions, right? That way equation. All right, so in that position locations, that's going to disappear. Galaxy line, shift line, and 3 line rotation surface. Now this comes into past, present, and future line adaptation. Okay? Open windows, open panels, and line condition of diamond core. Okay? Redirect position locations of open line signature, line condition of stargates and star panels. It's that position of travel. Okay, so we come in this position in center location. And we come into this position to center location. And then we come into this position in center location. And then we come into this position in center location. Okay? Very powerful stuff. Center communication lines, signature stream location settings. We have travel calculations going forward at 3 lines. Okay, that's the position of past into present line. So we change the position of past into the future of its past. We change the past and the resolution location of its future. And we change the future past and position location of its set location of its presence. Position of track to its communication setting puts all calculation lines, electronic line interference, line calculation setting, quantum line and rotation position of travel lines into a mechanism of high position location of future adaptation surface. Done by equation. All done by equation. Center position of track lines, guys, really understand how to go location your system. So that's how it's set up now. It's all locked in signal. Past correlation setting presence and present position location of future line. It's all locked in line center locations. Direct line position location of 3 panels, indirect location of system, and travel calculation. Done by equation. See? 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 See how that works? So, yeah, I know it's very powerful. So that's going to travel out. Done by equation. All right. So we got the past line, past travels location, present, and the location of future. All right. So the past now is the center. The future is now the center. Okay, center operation location, I line rotation. There's the I. Tronic line center high position location setting. Okay. Travel records of time sequence in 3 line rotations. Now, in that direct locations, we come into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because your location is setting of travels. And the locations of 1-dimensional door line, rotation surface, triangulation location of 2 settings, and track communications. 3 lines of high generation stream locations of travels. Direct calculation high interference, open up portal communications, and a 2 line centers at 3 line rotation. Okay? Now, getting into that position locations, guys, you have to understand how it goes into the echo and line communication VIA. Okay, volume, intelligence of atmosphere lines of change in 3 location travel settings. That direct line calculation setting your directions to operate line interference into bubbles of communication. Now, once you get into that lines, the travel communication comes in this lines to its rotation surface, comes out of portal communications to its sim travels communication to its soul planes and direction. Okay, from here lines, it travels location here, right? Direction scan lines, high center interference, platitudes 1 position, 2, 3, 4, and 5 set location. Okay, done by equation. All right. Mechanism of a line condition, the higher self is out. Avatar is in center position, is out. Now we're in the sim. The sim position track line is now calculated high interference. Now we got a soul plane, redirect location and line calculation in 2 tracks, in position across the stream location at 2 track location. Now in that line interference, 1 signature panel, okay, that comes cross lines in line interference into your star portals, star gates, star maps, star signature locations, in your star academies and set location of travel. dark enemy. Okay, right there. So this is set up into lines of low, medium, and high mediation. And this is the Earth line rotation. So direct lines of Earth stays in position, but the product line interference is nothing but a memory and direction. Okay, this is gone. So platitude lines, this is the actual planes. Leaving line interference and travel calculations coming into soul planes in new direction. That's applications. Now, calculation high interference is a platitude line string, 3 lines of platitudes. So it crosses line rotations at 2 line rotation surface and triangulation. Okay? So I'm just showing you exactly what's happening. Okay, I'm just going to split the anomalies. Center of direct signals comes into this position, choose line setting. Okay? Understand how to router and router line rotation center of a tubes application. This travels lines at indication high center, opens up new platforms, new crop circles, line application to its setting. To its dimensional heading. Okay, its applications. Right? So all central communications, everybody will be living right here in directions. Okay? All right. Surfacing altitude lines of ozone. We understand how to recognize the communication your surface. Now we got a flywheel position locations and center lines. Okay? And 4 set locations. 5 and 6 lines of 8, 8 lines of 9, 9 lines of 10, 10 lines of 11, and 11 lines of 12. Mechanism lines of center line interference is location accelerators and particle stream location of travel lines and 3 set locations. Okay, so that comes back into the sun, protects the signals, and high line and positions all levels of set location. Okay, done by equation. All right. Now the cubical box line comes in 2 line rotations to understand the mechanism, high position locations outside of their cube. Cube lines, box lines is frame in 3 line rotations. Okay, you're always working with 3. You know why? Because it's all connected high interference of 4 in 2 positions. 2 equals lines of 4, 4 lines equals 3. Calculate high interference, 4 lines of 3 equals lines of 7 equals lines of 5. 5 lines of location of setting equal location of 12. Interline interference is center position location of 24. Okay? And so always remember, you're always working you have new 7 bodies of water now, which is in the position location of the soul plane that directs the signal location of your dome. Okay? Now the dome line center high interference is travel calculation setting, which is your city, holographic city, setting trilocation setting, location alpha, and location at setting locations. Now, understand how to use the box surface, 2, 3 lines, 4 lines, and 5 position of travel. Okay? Understand the routers and routers lines of sun line and the routers and router communication the moon line and travel calculation lines and 3 set location of settings in the kaleidoscope communication. All right, your kilo. All right. All right, so that's set up. So everybody understand the configuration, how this all works now through codes, how it surfaces on so many positions of the programs, how to really understand your connection to your beta, your theta. Okay, beta, theta, omega. So that's B, T, O. Track lines of 2 panels. Okay, in position location of 1 line surface into 0 equals lines of 1. So that's 0 indicating lines. So that's underscore, equal locations into positive over pi. All right, positive goes at the top. All right, the center position locations because you can change the ones of 1 into 2 panels of 1 line conditions. Change the power line string into 2. 2 lines equal lines of positive. Positive adds another line communication to another line communication. So that's 2x line centers into all calculations into 1, 1, 1, 1 position of operation, right? So that opens up the portal stream in beta, in theta, and omega communication and triangulation. Okay? Box center line center is really to understand how to use surface location and theta waves in 2 line tracks. Your T reception lines your location of flux capacitor set position of travel. 1 set position of operation. Light bulb and correlation. There it is. Boom. Okay. So remember, the light bulb is basically pi. Y has electrical circuit location system. What is a light bulb to its setting? Right? Understand the zero line ground lines, operation location of triangulation, high position location of surface is all lines of thought direction time sequence in your correlates setting, mystical cortex setting locations. So it's very powerful once you understand how to use it through an equation. How to create lines of 4 portals in communication of 4 lines of ones, and a 3 communication of beta, theta, and omega, and location of waves, right? That's what we're coming into now, okay? You guys have to understand how to use the beta wave to your highways, all right? So let's say you got a center communication this line, and travels this way, and travels this way, travels this way, and 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 travels this way. This is the highway. So this is you, point system, traveling to certain locations. Okay, this is you. But you got to stay in your own lanes, because on Wednesday, all intelligence coming back into their highways locations. Okay, so you have to direct and redirect locations. That's why you have Heather. She's data op. She's your dispatch location, your highway settings. Okay, so you have a dimensional heading, 12 signatures lines. That's 12 line cycles into one dimension of space. So that means you go through portal. Portal here, portal here, portal here. Okay, see the portals open up? Now when they open up, you basically disappear and reappear to another line rotation to this setting. Its locations. Opens up its panels, opens up its dimension, opens up its space, opens up line communication setting direction. Okay? Very complicated stuff, guys. So once you get into that position locations, you really have to understand how it works in its operation surface. All through, your highways. Omni highways, delta highways, mega highways, beta highways. Beta is more through modifications to the ones that are going through the karma cycles. So I don't recommend the connections to the immortals going through beta, because our signature lines is all levels of delta, theta, and omega, and anything higher line conditionized system. You go to radiation cycles. Once you get into radiation, you're more levels of the sun, and the signatures position of programs. Okay? This is the highway. Okay, this is base. All right, this is a location. All right. So you're going here, this point system, you're going here, point system, you're going here to the sun and location. Okay? Directing point systems in all track locations. Point system, point system, point system. Okay? And directions. Here's Jupiter in line rotation. The center line is the 2-wave in line rotation center. Okay? So you really have to understand how this all works through travel. Okay? Really understand these things. Remember I was telling you about the 2 panels? You come in and you have to get into the location of your system to its location grid. This is location grid that you go through, travels through, right? You got 2 panels and then you got position locations. There's the planet that you're interacting with. You have to identify your system where you can't go through the settings. Well, that's exactly what you guys are coming into, right? How to go through the acceleration of 3 lines or 4 lines of 5 or 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11 or 12 with set location of your systems. Okay, very complicated stuff. So you really have to understand how to go through your travel lines, your data lines, because you're using it through a clock lines at the 12 cycle location. So every time it goes around 12, you're traveling through a portal, through your highway. Okay, see, in configuration, you have to really understand how to modify these all through your watch, right? Look at the indications of your watch. Every time it goes around 4, ping, 4, ping, 4, ping, 4, ping. So it's ramming up, ramming up, ramming up, and you're going to feel it. And every time you go around the 12, it goes into 24. 24 goes on 48, 40 goes 72, 70 goes to 144. Boom, particle system disappeared, vortex, change positions, change activation, change directions through delta. Okay? You understand? That's the process that you guys go through, and that's why you guys have a watch. Okay? Telling yourself through modification is truly understand how to go through all levels of your dimensional headings, okay, through your location grid and get to your locations in set position, okay? But you have to understand the conditioning of traffic, okay? As all intelligence is coming back, point system line directions, come in this line centers, 3 line communications, come in this line centers, in 3 line communication settings, travel this line calculation system, this location, or anything this line calculation setting, or anything this position location of a system. Okay, so it's really understanding what a highway is to its magnetic highway information system backup server. Direct and line calculations, electrical lines, high calculation, high positional travel lines. Verifications all levels of dynamic core line resistor communication of center line rotation, center interference and travel communication of center line. That's allocations. It gets complicated. But the center operation is all line communications, how to understand how to use your set lines into your traffic of communication, of center operation. Okay? So inline set locations, you know how you get between 4 to 6 on a highway? Well, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's going to be 8 lines. Markers, signature strings. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So we got platitudes and planets and all solar systems coming in and all track locations, different planets, different lines, different universe, different galaxies, all set position locations, right? So in that line condition, they know exactly the lanes that they are going in to track to its communication setting, to all direct locations to its system, crisis signals, high calculation modification to its system, all through track locations coming back to where they are through unification. Powerful stuff, isn't it? Okay. So this is a signature wall, direct and line position location of panels. Okay, crossing line center interference. So all intelligence coming back in their frame, coming back in their on my highways, coming back in their traffic set location system. So you guys have to basically understand how to go through alpha, delta, theta, and all calculations. Recognizing line and rotation center position track lines to all calculations. The ones that are going through modifications of karma cycles, they stay on the beta alpha, but their home base is alpha beta, alpha bravo. So if you get an understanding how it works through frequency, then you understand the provision. All set locations are sent to traffic, the set locations. Okay? All right, so how are we doing through modifications of console calculation stream locations? Okay, watch alpha beta alarm set. Yep. Oh no, but I'm just trying to get you guys ready because everything is going to change very quick, very fast on Wednesday. So it's kind of like all of a sudden you got this traffic, and this is how it's going to be set up. Platitude line streams and set location center interference. Okay, let's get 4 panels communications, right? And each one has a signature string. Okay, each one has a signature string. Okay, it's always going forward. It never goes back. It only goes back if it's directing lines with a beacon light. Traffic over these setting direct system location of heading. Okay, so intelligence coming in. There's the intelligence right here. Platitude. There's the intelligence right here. 3 platforms of communication. All right. Now direct locations. It's in line here. Here's Heather. His center line operation. Okay. Now really understand. There's only 4 platforms here, guys. Okay, there's going to be 24 platforms, which is 24 academies, where we're coming in an expansion streamline. So she has her Omni Universe line condition electrical high calculation setting. There's one wave, okay? And there's another wave from communication in direction of the platforms. Each platform has an indication high interference or calculation to its setting, okay? So it's all indicated in a high and line rotation position and track lines. There's another 3 intelligent locations. So they know exactly how to travel through set location of travel settings. Okay? So really understand how this all works. And they come in this way. Okay? And they set up a platform. Platform is a telepad where the XD1000 comes in and lands its system to its locations on its ground setting. A set location. Okay? Remember, this is all levels of space. Okay? Nothing's in the ground. Grounds are the minds of space, guys. So it's about understanding your holodecks. Your echo connection high center, how to communicate with each other through Tango, which is teleportation units. But knowing exactly how this is set up in space line coordinates and setting is track to keep calculation position all of your system. Okay? So I really want you to pay attention to that set location. So you get an X2000 here, and basically it comes into ground in this location of the system. Okay? So it sits here, right? crosses over here. There's the dorm. Okay. And then basically, the center operation is all levels when it comes into settings. Try to understand how to use the waves and direct location or highway, because it's nothing but plasma channels or plasma stream locations. Okay. So understand that indication. Intercon communications comes in the line settings. There's a 2-track location. Okay. So platitude from here to here to here, right? There's the dorm, okay, which is the academy. Okay. See how that works? And then you get back in, and then you can travel out. Okay. But you have to get in contact and keep in contact with all levels of backup server, which is Heather. Okay. Very important. You got to keep in contact with Captain too. Captain's going to be on the helical iron line interference of the hangars or the setting. So it's position of track lines through your Charlie and understand location of your Golf, which is your grounds. That's how position travels. I don't want to get too complicated, but that's basically how things are set up, location of your settings, where you really have to just get in position of your system. Okay, to your telepaths, your launch pads, your launch place. Okay, really understand how to communicate with each other, right, through photonic communication alphabets. Okay. All right, so that's it. We're done. So we're going to stop there. You have any questions or comments, we go on Zoom. We'll get more into line set locations. But you understand why you have to use photonic communications alphabet line settings. So you understand your dimensional headings of where you're going and how to get there, how to process your system locations, because it's a straight setting, those locations, right? You know exactly where you're going, right? Through altitude or inline communication system. Okay? All right, see you in 5. Adios. You.